Hello folks, so if you don't know me, my name is Steve and I was diagnosed in October 2025 with liver cirrhosis. So this is an ongoing vlog, just to sort of, give you an idea of what it's like living with this condition. So I was in bed last night at 10 o'clock, in bed and asleep, and I struggled to get up at 8 o'clock this morning. I've got to be up at 8 because I've got the Super King mattress being collected. I've got my Tesco delivery today as well. I've got some washing on. I had some good news from the GP yesterday insofar as they've signed off my ill health retirement, which is good news, so I can get that sent off in a minute. It's all paperwork and I struggle with that, but it's good to get it done. Apart from that, I've also been up this week to have my leg looked at. So for those of you who don't know, I had edema, which is like fluid retention in the legs. I was asking my doctor to give me spironolactone to get rid of the fluids. Little did I know it wouldn't actually get rid of the fluid. It would have stopped new fluid accumulating. What gets rid of the fluid is furosemide, which I'm now on as well. But the doctor refused to give me anything until I've been seen by the hospital. And that resulted in me basically my leg bursting. Sorry, it's not always palatable, this stuff, but it is life with liver cirrhosis. So my leg went, and I was leaking everywhere, and I had to go into A&E, which was a bit of a funny one because my GP actually spoke to the hospital, and hospital said, no, don't come to the minor injury unit, go to A&E first, let them sort you out, and then you can come to minors afterwards. So I ended up spending a whole week in hospital. I was about 25 kilos of fluid, roughly, I reckoned, that I was retaining. And I weigh myself every day, not because I'm like sort of, fussed as such about it, but just to keep a view on the trend. And as of today, I'm 27 kilos down on where I was when I first went into hospital. So where I figured I was about 25 kilos up, I'm now 27 kilos down. And a lot of that is managing the fluids intake versus the furosemide and spironolactone. So for those of you who don't know, furosemide gets rid of fluid that's already in the body, and spironolactone stops new fluids being accumulated. And I'm also on lactulose, and lactulose it's another nasty one. It draws fluid out, and it basically brings it through the bowel lining and into your poop, so that you poop more regularly. And if you are a liver cirrhosis sufferer, it's important to poop a couple of times a day at least, because otherwise you end up with ammonia buildup because your liver isn't flushing out the toxins in your body, and you need something to flush the toxins out, and your poop is a great way of doing that. So anyway, so I had this burst leg, and I was in hospital for a week with it. And when I came out, it was there or thereabouts, but still not great. I was dressing it myself. Anyway, the doctor had a look and said, go and see the dressings nurse. The dressings nurse had a look at it, took a swab, and even though I'd just had some antibiotics, I still had a bit of an infection in it. And I got put on another week's worth antibiotics. Not a massive fan of antibiotics. They sort of flush out your gut microbiome. So I'd rather not have them. Plus the this whole thing about the super strain that will eventually take over the world because we haven't got any antibiotics that work anymore. So I'd rather not have antibiotics if I can get away with it. But hey, look, when you've got to take it, you've got to take it. So that more or less cleared it up. I went and saw the dressings nurse again this week. She said, "How's it been?" I said, "Well, it's been itchy AF, to be perfectly honest with you." It had been a couple of weeks by the time I saw her again. And on the Friday night, just before the Monday when I saw her, I took off the dressing, ready to replace it, and I did leave it off for a couple of hours, and it had dried up quite a lot. So that was pretty good. So she's got me like on a small dressing, really just to finish it off, and she's given me some spare dressings as well. So I've got those. I went up yesterday for my pneumonia jab and ended up with the chills and bits and pieces. Got completely confused about the bus times. This is even planning my sort of like journey. I still get it wrong. I've got my son coming this weekend, so I will be doing homemade pizza. I quite like doing homemade stuff because, well, one, I can control the amount of salt that goes into the dough, and two, I can use a cheese blend. So I use Edam and dry mozzarella, both of which are pretty low in salt. My son has pepperoni on his. I don't, or I might have like 3 or 4 slices on a little bit of the pizza just to remember what it tasted like, to be perfectly honest with you. And there is a little bit of something in there. So the doctor said to me about my sort of diet. I said, "Look, doc," I said, I'm for the most part, I'm eating really healthily, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an angel, because if all I can eat is carrots for the rest of my life, I might as well give up now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 99 times out of 100 I eat healthily, but you've got to be able to also, within reason, and this is a really personal thing, so I've said it before, this isn't medical advice. I can't give medical advice. I'm not a qualified professional. This is just what I do. Depending on where you are with your disease, you may not be able to do this. I guess I can, because I gave up the alcohol the very second that I was diagnosed. And so, yeah, so I will occasionally, maybe once a month, or a couple of once a fortnight, I might have a homemade pizza. If I don't, then once a month I might have sausage or bacon, but that is once a month. And you've got to let yourself. Well, I need to let myself have something. Otherwise, I'd just go insane. So that's how I manage it. I know other folks do different things. I keep an eye on the Facebook groups and bits and pieces. I know people say you can reverse liver cirrhosis, whether you can or not. All the medical advice seems to be that you can't. I think it just depends how far gone you are. So this week I've been having lots of fruit, and I've been having Huel Black. Make sure I'm getting enough protein. I've had some some chicken fajitas, again homemade. I'll do the pizza with my son, and we'll probably have chicken fajitas again. I had beans on toast one night, and I did some homemade chips in the air fryer. So very just with black pepper. I put loads of black pepper on the fries, and no salt, and actually that gives it enough flavour for me. So yeah, you got like I say, you got to have a little bit. So today I've put in for my first repeat prescription. I think I said the other day that I'm on this prepayment certificate, so I pay like £30 a month and £30 a quarter. Sorry. You can pay like £112 a year or something, but I pay £35 a quarter at the moment, just because I was getting used to it. And then you get all your prescriptions for free. So I've put in today for five different prescriptions, which normally at £9.90 would be £49.50. So the 35 quid that I pay for a quarter, that covers that immediately, plus the other prescriptions that I've been having. So anyway, that's where we're at today. We will follow up tomorrow. I'll let you know how we got on with the taking the thingy away, the mattress. I've also got a couple more bits that I'm selling on eBay. I sent one thing off yesterday, and then I've got a double headboard or a Super King headboard that I need to take a club hammer to, so we can get it in the car and take it down a dump, which I'm not looking forward to, but hey ho. Right, be nice and be kind, people. You never know what folk are going through. Laters, potatoes. Off you pop.